Rover and Wag, the Uber and Lyft of dog walking, fight state oversight. All Connecticut State Representative Kim Rose wanted was to make sure home-based doggy daycares followed the same health and safety rules as commercial kennels. It sounded deceptively simple. But as soon as the Democrat introduced her bill in January, web-based pet care services such as Rover and Wag worked to exempt their business model from the bill. They feared that making their contractors subject to the same licensing and taxes as a commercial kennel would undermine their business. Often referred to as the Uber and Lyft of the pet care industry, Rover and Wag contract with freelance dog walkers, pet sitters and in-home pet care workers. Those workers are linked up via the company's apps and sent to clients' houses on demand. Very often, the workers keep pets in their own homes, sometimes during the day, sometimes overnight. The gig economy model for pet care has disrupted a standing industry in somewhat the same way that ride-hailing services upended the taxi industry. And just like in those cases, cities and states are scrambling to make their regulations fit. In addition to Connecticut, many other states and cities, including Colorado, Massachusetts, and California, are grappling with overseeing the pet care platforms, whether by implementing new statutes or considering legislation that specifically addresses how they do business. Yet Rover and Wag have successfully fended off regulations in state after state in recent years, earning exemptions that relieve their gig workers from the oversight required of kennels and pet care professionals. As a result, millions of pets are being walked, boarded and cared for by people with no formal training or licensing, whom consumers often don't know personally and whose homes haven't been inspected. Traditional kennels say the exemptions aren't fair and put animals at risk. But critics of more regulation say the lax oversight makes sense for gig pet sitters, calling some state lawmakers' efforts to license dog walkers government overreach and pointing out that unlicensed babysitters routinely care for children. The app-based model works well for on-call pet sitters, like college students picking up a little extra cash, but it threatens professional pet care operations, said Erin Hatton, a sociology professor at the University of Buffalo who has studied the gig economy. For those other businesses that are subject to regulations and licensure, it could disrupt them very much, and, one could argue, unfairly, she said in a phone interview. For example, kennels pay taxes, obtain businesses licenses and are subject to inspections, none of which applies to freelance dog walkers and pet sitters. The online companies argue that a house or apartment shouldn't be regulated the same as a kennel. John Lapham, general counsel at Seattle Base. For more on this story, visit the news article link.